Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bexar County Court at Law number 6 in the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. Today is a plea and MTR docket. It is Thursday, November 18th, 2021 at approximately 10 minutes after 2 p.m. in the afternoon. On all cases, representing the state is Mr. Eddie Villarreal and Ms. Megan Galloway. And on the MTRs is Ms. Susan Gross. I will swear at this time. Please raise your right hand, Ms. Gross. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The cases I have set today are pleas. Cause 644-961, State of Texas versus Emmett Hernandez, represented by Mr. Larry Meadows. Cause 667-880, State of Texas versus Victor Tovar, represented by Mr. Lucio Valdez. Cause number 650015, State of Texas versus Louis Toomey, represented by Mr. Robert Gayona. Cause number 668991, State of Texas versus Sabrina Garcia, represented by Mr. James Dwiggins. Cause number 653132, State of Texas versus Renee Betancourt, represented by Mr. Armando Roman. Cause number 667828, State of Texas versus Joe Garcia, represented by Mr. Ross Brendel. 1, 2, 3, Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court, Track 1, pretrial diversion, plea and probation agreements. Cause 649750. State of Texas versus Jasmine Walker, represented by Mr. Tim Roundtree. Cause number 652550 and 652551. State of Texas versus Juan Rivas, represented by Mr. Tim Roundtree. Cause number 659479. State of Texas versus Alex Martinez, represented by Mr. Jeb Locke. We have two motions to revoke community supervision. Cause 629833. State of Texas versus David Martinez, represented by Mr. Robert Barrera. And cause 650764, State of Texas versus Rosemary Diaz, represented by Mr. Raymond Martinez or Ms. Victoria Cruz. At this time, we're going to take up cause number 668991, State of Texas versus Sabrina Garcia. Mr. Dwiggins, are you ready to proceed?
I am.
Cause number 644961, State of Texas versus Emmett Hernandez. Mr. Meadows, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Cause number 667880, State of Texas versus Victor Y. Tovar, represented by Mr. Lucio Valdez. Mr. Valdez, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir, I am.
And cause 656015, State of Texas versus Louis H. Toomey, represented by Mr. Robert Gayona. Mr. Gayona, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Roman, show up yet, or are we still waiting?
He is not, Your Honor. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of him.
Okay. The first document I need you to identify your signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference. Ms. Garcia, and cause 668991, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes.
Is that yes, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Dwiggins, as attorney for Ms. Garcia, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez, and cause 644961, is this your signature on this document, sir? Mr. Hernandez with us?
Emmett, you're muted. Unmute yourself.
All right. Yes. Can you hear me now?
I got you now. Thank you, sir. And Mr. Meadows, as attorney for Mr. Hernandez, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Tovar, and cause 667880, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Valdez, as attorney for Mr. Tovar, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. 650015. Mr. Toomey, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Take yourself off mute, Lewis.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks. And Mr. Gayona, as attorney for Mr. Toomey, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Judge.
Thank you. The next document I have for each of you is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions, that purports to have your signatures on the back. Effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Ms. Garcia, on cause 668991, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez, and cause 644961, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Tovar, and cause 667880, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Toomey, and cause 650015, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. By signing these documents, are each of you telling me that you've had enough time to either read these documents or have them read to you in their entirety? If you had any questions about what was on these documents, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorneys, so that in signing these documents, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on these documents. Is that correct, Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Thank you. Is that correct, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes.
Thank you. Is that correct, Mr. Tovar?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And is that correct, Mr. Toomey?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. As attorney for Ms. Garcia, Mr. Dwiggins, have you had enough time to go over this case with her, and in your opinion, is she mentally competent?
I have, and she is.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Meadows, as attorney for Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, he's competent and we've had time to go over all the evidence.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Valdez, as attorney for Mr. Tovar.
Yes, sir, and he is competent.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Galeana, as attorney for Mr. Toomey.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Garcia, are you a United States citizen, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Tovar.
No, sir.
Mr. Tovar, you are not a citizen of the United States, is that correct?
Correct.
Mr. Tovar, if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere for the offense charged may result in your deportation, your exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law. Mr. Tovar, have you discussed with your attorney, been made aware of the mentioned consequences, and are you now knowingly still wanting to enter a plea to this offense?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Valdez, as attorney for Mr. Tovar, have you had the ability to discuss with him the possible problems he may encounter with regard to his immigration status if he enters a plea to this crime?
Yes, sir, I have.
And after your discussion with him, did he indicate to you he wanted to go forward with a plea bargain with the state today?
Yes, sir, he did.
Thank you. Mr. Toomey, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Dwiggins, as attorney for Ms. Garcia, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
They have.
Same question for Mr. Meadows, as attorney for Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, they have. The state has provided the evidence.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Valdez, as attorney for Mr. Tovar.
Yes, sir, they have.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Galeana, as attorney for Mr. Toomey.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see what we're doing on plea bargains here. Ms. Garcia, to the charge of interfering with the duties of a public servant. How do you plead, ma'am?
No contest.
Court accepts the plea of no contest. Is there an agreement for Ms. Garcia?
Yes,
There is.
yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for 6 months deferred adjudication, $200 fine, court costs, 24 hours of community service, and a cognitive thinking course.
What was the last one again?
Cognitive thinking course.
Oh, here we go again. This is one of the Megan courses. Cognitive thinking courses. This is the one I always say I need to go to also. All right. Defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is.
Judge,
Yep.
if I may, if you
Sure.
can add on there that class is available through CATS.
Thank you.
It'll be cognitive thinking through CATS.
Perfect. Okay, Ms. Garcia, on cause 668-991, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of interfering with the duties of a public servant. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt, place you on 6 months deferred adjudication probation. It says a $200 fine plus court costs, 24 hours community service, and the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety Cognitive Thinking course. Anything further from the state of the defense on Ms. Garcia?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense.
Good luck, Ms. Garcia. Thank you, Mr. Dwiggins. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
And let's see. What we're doing.
Judge, may I give some instructions, please?
Sure, go ahead.
Anyone that's placed on probation today, you will be receiving a telephone call from the probation department or an email within the next 48 hours in order to set you up for orientation. If you haven't heard anything by Tuesday morning, you need to call this number, 210-335-7446, and they will set you up for your orientation. Again, it's your responsibility to make sure that these documents get signed and that you attend orientation. If you fail to appear, the judge will issue a warrant for your arrest.
Excuse me, could you repeat the number?
Yes, 210-335-7446. So if you haven't heard anything or received an email by the time you wake up on Tuesday, you need to dial that number and tell them that you need an orientation appointment.
I will
Okay.
put it on the chat, in a chat box for everybody so that you can see it. Just put it on. Just give me a few minutes, okay? Thank you.
And if you have problems with that, you can always reach out to your attorney who can contact myself or the court, and then we'll get you set up. Thank you, Judge.
You bet. Back on the record on cause 644-961, State of Texas versus Emmett Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez, to the charge of driving while intoxicated. First offense, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for 6 months, probated for 12 months, a $500 fine, court costs, 48 hours of community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CATSNIP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, regular UAs, and $120 to DPS.
Mr. Meadows, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Mr. Hernandez, in cause 644-961, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated. First offense, I find you guilty. I assess 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year, a $500 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, Smart Start Mobile home interlock at 4 blows a day for half the term, which is 6 months. Regular urinalysis tests and reimbursement to the Texas Department of Public Safety for $120 for lab fee. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Hernandez?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense,
All
Judge.
right, good luck, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you, Mr. Meadows. Y'all are dismissed.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You bet. Let's see what we're doing. Tovar. State, you got a motion on Mr. Tovar's case, it appears.
No, I do not.
Yes, Your Honor, the state moves to waive the enhancement paragraph.
You could just hang up. Oh, boy.
No objection from the defense, that will be granted. Let's see, therefore, Mr. Tovar, in clause 667-880 to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense, how do you plead?
No contest, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Pat, the paperwork needs to be corrected. Mine, for some reason, says on the defendant's waiver of constitutional rights and court's admonitions, it's got a number of 756-938, whatever that means, and DWI second, which is not what this is. So that needs to be erased and DWI first put in there. Anyway, court accepts the plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated. First offense, is there an agreement for Mr. Tovar?
There is, Your Honor, 180 days Bexar County Jail, probated for 16 months, $700 fine, court cost, 64 hours community service, DWI intervention, victim impact panel, CATSNIP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, and restitution, if any, to Jason Grissinger.
And Mr. Valdez, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Let me do a little writing here. Mr. Tovar, on clause 667-880, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. I find you guilty. I assess 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 16 months, a $700 fine plus court costs, 64 hours of community service, DWI intervention program, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, Smart Start Mobile home interlock at 4 blows a day for half the term, which is 8 months, and restitution, if any, to Jason Grissinger. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Tovar?
Nothing
Ron?
from the state.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that I have a document from the insurance company in which they paid about a little over $11,000 for the property damage in the collision that gave rise to this case.
You think that's in final settlement of any claims? That what your understanding is?
No, this one will actually be presented to the probation department.
Okay, but with regard to the insurance companies involved, does that mean that Mr. Tovar has no further liability after his insurance company paid this money?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so everybody's covered if we just say restitution, if any, to Jason Grisinger. Is that correct, State?
That's correct, Your Honor, and it is my understanding that that document should be turned over to probation
Great.
for the investigation.
Mr. Valdez, just if you would ensure that Mr. Tovar gets that document to probation, that will go in his file and become a matter of record.
Yes, sir, I will do that.
All right, anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Tovar?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense.
Good luck, Mr. Tovar. Thank you, Mr. Valdez. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Let's see what we're doing to Mr. Toomey. Okay. Mr. Toomey, and call 650-0015 to the charge of theft, $100 to $750. How do you plead, sir?
You're muted.
Can you hear me, Mr. Toomey?
There you go.
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead, sir? No contest. Thank you. And is there an agreement in this case, State?
There is, Your Honor. 24 days, Bear County Jail, $0 fine, court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. And if it pleases the court, we ask this judgment be satisfied.
And Mr. Gaona, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Toomey, and cause 650-0015, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of theft, $100 to $750. I find you guilty. I assess 24 days in the Bear County Jail, $0 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Toomey?
Nothing from the state.
Oh, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gaona. Good luck, Mr. Toomey. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we got any MTR folks ready to go?
I am, Judge.
Your Honor, both of them are, I don't know whether they still need to prosecutor or not, Your Honor.
Mr. Barrera with us?
Yes.
Judge, good afternoon. With Mr. David Martinez, we have a violation of a dirty blow. And I don't know if your policy is to have us confer to reach an agreement, or we just go open to you. He's pleading true, and he should be online there.
The state can certainly make any recommendation they want. Obviously, by law, as everyone is aware, I'm not bound by that recommendation. I'm sure the probation department has a recommendation also. If you want time to chat with the state briefly, I'm just going to put the MTRs last, and we'll take these last VTC pleas, and then you guys can chat as long as you want, and then we can come do the MTRs. Is that what you'd like to do?
An abundance of caution, yeah, I'm happy to visit with the ADA on that, Your Honor.
That's great. And Mr. Martinez, is that something you would like to do also?
Not necessarily, Judge. We're going to plead true and go open to the court.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take up Mr. Martinez' case with Ms. Diaz. This is it's called 650-764, State of Texas versus Rosemary Diaz. This is a motion to revoke community supervision. My understanding is that this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that accurate, Mr. Martinez?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Diaz, to the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, ma'am?
True, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Gross, would you, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Ms. Diaz? Hang on just a second, I missed something. Ms. Diaz and Mr. Martinez in clause 650-764, I'm looking at a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Ms. Diaz, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
You're muted, Ms. Diaz.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Martinez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Diaz, the next document I have in clause 650-764 is entitled Trial Court Certification of defendant's right of appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. Is this your signature on this document also, Ms. Diaz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Martinez, as attorney for Ms. Diaz, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Housekeeping is taken care of. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Ms. Diaz's probation?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Diaz has been reporting as directed. We last saw her on November 15, 2021 in the Bexar County Jail. She has paid $624 towards her fees. She has a balance of $622 and is current at this time. We have no record of any of her 48 hours of community service having been completed. She is currently on Smart Start Mobile testing 6 times per day, and we do not have any registered violations of high BRAC or skip tests at this time. She has completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and the CAT SNP program. She has been on weekly drug testing since her last motion to revoke, which was on September 15th. She has had a total of 4 positive drug tests for marijuana, 3 negative drug tests, 3 diluted drug tests. However, her last 2 drug tests with our department have been negative, and her attorney of record did send me a copy of a drug test that she went and took on her own accord at a private company yesterday. And that document also revealed that the test was negative. This is her 3rd violation report, her 2nd actual MTR before the court. She has no criminal history, and her officer is recommending that she be returned to 4 blows per day on the Smart Start Mobile, and that she add on the CATS IOP program and enroll in that within 10 days.
On the previous motion to revoke probation on September 15th, 2021, you indicated there was at least 1 positive for marijuana. Was there also a high BRAC for alcohol on that MTR?
Let me double check.
I guess my question is, I wouldn't have cranked her up on the Smart Start Mobile just for a marijuana hit. So my guess is there's.
Judge, I don't believe, I participated in that hearing as well, Judge. I don't believe it was a high BRAC. What happened was she accidentally left her device in a store and it stayed there overnight.
There were like mini skips or something, is that
There were
correct?
some skips, yes.
I got you.
But she got it back for the very next day, and she's never had a positive BRAC.
Ms. Gross, what was the original fine amount on Ms. Diaz's case?
I'm sorry, Judge, I forgot to mention, she paid in full yesterday.
Okay.
500.
Okay, Susan, your records probably aren't caught up yet. It does not reflect she's paid in full, correct?
I'm looking right now. Actually, it does reflect that she did pay in full, Your Honor.
And she has credit for plus or minus 9 days in jail. Does that sound right?
Yes, Judge, she was in for
Yes.
about 5 days on this last one.
All right. Defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, if she's, I don't recall if she's on obstruction or DWI.
DWI.
Okay. Well, we can't terminate her early, so Judge, so I'm guessing we're just asking that she be continued. And I can address the marijuana if you need me to.
Let me back up and ask Susan a technical question. When did she go on probation? And I assume she had a deferred adjudication or something, or she did not? There's always been a conviction for DWI.
I believe it's always been a straight conviction.
All
Let
right,
me,
so that would have been 15 July.
yes, Your Honor.
All right, I got you.
And yes, she was not on deferred prior.
So she's been on probation plus or minus 4 or 5 months. That sound right?
Since July 15th of this year.
And Ms. Diaz has no priors. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Ray, my concern, I don't think we're going to get her off marijuana. It's been months and months and she's still, I understand she has recent negative marijuana hits, but I'm still getting intermittent marijuana hits. You want to address that for me?
I can, Judge. Her husband is a Desert Storm veteran and he uses marijuana to treat his PTSD. As a matter of fact, he's thinking about applying for the program at the VA when they're going to let people start getting THC legally. It hasn't started yet. And so she's around that all the time and she's ingested it. She's not trying to use marijuana, but somehow it's getting in her blood. But I would say, Judge, she was negative yesterday, and 30 days ago, she was positive. My guess is the levels are very low, and that's why it went down so fast. I think she can stay clean. She's gonna have to stay further away from her husband, I think. But marijuana has never been an issue for her, but it is in her household, and she doesn't deny that.
Okay, and state, what's your recommendation, please?
Judge, the state recommends that the defendant be continued amended to 4 times per day on Smart Start Mobile, be continued on weekly UAs, and enroll in CATS IOP.
Ray, I'm going to give you 2 options, and you're welcome to take some time and go back in breakout room and talk to Ms. Diaz about it. I don't truly believe I'm going to get her off of marijuana, no matter what I say or do or what classes I send her to. I don't really want to put her in jail any longer than she's already been in jail. I don't, and you indicated off the record that she had several medical problems and she wasn't getting medication when we jailed her the first time, which I let her out as quickly as I could. So that being said, here are your 2 options. I can follow the guidance of the probation department and the state and continue her on probation and add all this other stuff and put her on weekly UAs, and she'll go to intensive outpatient with CATS, Media Lines for Traffic Safety. We'll reduce her blows to 4 if we had already cranked them up, and she can stay on probation, or I will revoke her and give her credit for time served. I'm gonna give her 30 days in jail, and whatever the fine amount was, which I guess was $500, credit for time served, has been satisfied, and she will have been revoked. She's already had a conviction, so that's not going to affect her, but she'll be off probation. If you want to go talk to her about that and pick an option, or if you already know, just let me know what you want to do.
Judge, I'm sure she would take the judgment satisfied option in light of her medical and her husband's situation.
Can we ask Ms. Diaz to go ahead and tell me that if she's willing to do that? You understand what my 2 options, Ms. Diaz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what I'm proposing to your attorneys are, A, I can go ahead and revoke your probation because you've been bad and used marijuana. And you've already got 9 days in jail. I'm going to give you 3 for 1. So I'm going to call it 30 days in the Bexar County Jail. You've already done it. You've already got credit for that. So I'm going to revoke your probation. You'll be off probation, but you do not have to go back to jail. You don't have to pay any more money. You've been a good scout on the money side and the admin side, and your attorneys have helped you along on that. So if that's okay with you, your attorneys are telling me that's what you would like to do. Is that what you would like to do? Get off probation and just have judgment satisfied, but you've been revoked. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Cruz, excuse me, Ms. Diaz, in clause 650-764, the court accepts your plea of true. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 30 days in the Bexar County Jail. Assess a $500 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Diaz?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, Ms. Diaz. Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Thank you, Ms. Cruz. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ray, real quick, and Ms. Diaz, the judge will sign an order to remove your Smart Start Mobile probably tomorrow. It will go to your officer. Your officer will then send it to Smart Start. So probably Friday or Monday, you should be able to go in and turn in your device, most likely on Monday, okay?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right, but you're done, so you don't have to blow into it anymore. You'll just have to wait until you go and turn it in, and then you're 100% done.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, good luck to you. Don't come back.
All right, Mr. Rahman, make it in today. Pat, is Mr. Rahman here?
Yes.
Okay, great. Bobby, you still want to wait on your MTR, right? We'll put you last. Take us together, please.
Judge, I'm good to go if you're ready. I think we have a reasonable proposed resolution.
Fair enough.
Sorry, Jeb.
This is this is called 629-833, State of Texas versus David Martinez. This is a motion to revoke community supervision. The first document I have for Mr. Martinez and Mr. Bird to identify their signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Martinez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
You're muted, David.
There, yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Barrera, as attorney for Mr. Martinez, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. In fact, Mr. Martinez, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Barrera, as attorney for Mr. Martinez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. My understanding, Mr. Barrera, is this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mr. Martinez, in cause 629-833 on the motion to revoke community supervision. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty?
True.
Court accepts the plea of true with an explanation.
True.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Martinez's probation, please?
Your Honor, Mr. Martinez has been reporting as directed. We last saw him on November 10th of 2021 in the Bexar County Jail. He has paid $772 towards his fees. He has a balance of $861, and he is currently delinquent $146.24. We have no record of any of his 48 hours community service having been completed. He has, however, completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and the CAT-SNP program. He has had 3 positive drug tests for benzodiazepines, but he has provided us with medical documentation and current prescriptions, which negate those 3 positives. He's had 5 negative drug tests, and then he had 1 positive for alcohol on the Smart Start mobile, where he is testing at 4 times per day. He's had 1 skip test, and his high BRAC occurred on October 31st, 2021 at 0.028. He has 1 prior arrest for theft, 100 to 750 by check. And his officer is recommending that you increase his Smart Start mobile to 6 times per day. You add the CATS IOP program, and that be started within 10 days.
And Mr. Barrera, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, I would request, Mr. Martinez has indicated to me he does not have a problem with alcohol. He's not in reliance upon it for any emotional or physical or other need. I would like to substitute, because of his work schedule, substitute the scram, Judge, for his blowing 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. And he has indicated to me he's in agreement with the scram for the rest of the period of probation and believes he can get everything accomplished and stay on schedule when his probation is scheduled to terminate. He did have a slip up through a family situation, which caused him a little bit of grief, but subject to that, Judge, I think with a scram, we can assure the court he'll have no further violations through the end of his regularly scheduled probation period.
I hate it when Mr. Barrera comes up with a great plan. State, what is your recommendation?
Your Honor, the state recommends increasing blows from 4 times a day to 6 times per day.
We went on probation on this case back in March. So God willing, the creek don't rise. We're going to come off on 16 months. All right, Bobby, let's do this. Let's accept your scram deal with the understanding that after 90 days of scram, if he wants to switch back to a Smart Start mobile, if we haven't had any violations or other problems, I'll be happy to do that and give another shot on the blower. If he wants to stay on scram, that's certainly okay too. That just costs him more money.
I don't have any objection to that, Judge. I appreciate the court's consideration, and we'll have the scram installed with the holiday coming up, 10 days.
That's fine. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You bet. Mr. Martinez, in clause 629-833, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your probation or your probation continue with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary, sir?
No, sir.
Good answer, sir. Altering and amending conditions, complying with the defense request, and adding the scram cam ankle bracelet device within 10 days. As soon as that is active, you can turn in your Smart Start mobile device. Before it's active, you need to continue blowing in the Smart Start mobile device. Add weekly UAs. Once he shows me 4 clean weekly UAs, Bob, I'll put him back on monthly UAs. I won't know he's done that. You'll have to let me know, or he'll let you know. You let me know. I'll confirm it with Susan.
Yes,
and I
sir.
want substantial compliance within 30 days, meaning he has to catch up on his monies. and any programs he has in community service hours. He can donate money to court charity, which are primarily special operations, wounded warriors, and family violence prevention things. If he wants to donate $10 an hour to that, he's welcome to do that. Otherwise, he needs to get motivated to start doing his community service hours. Susan, what did I miss?
That's all, Your Honor.
And State, what did I miss?
Nothing, Your Honor.
I must do something wrong. Nobody's going to jail. Can I at least put Mr. Barrera in jail for a while?
I could use the rest, Judge, believe you
All
me.
right. Good luck, Mr. Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Barrera. Y'all are
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You all have a great day.
All
Thank
right,
you, Susan.
Mr. Martinez.
Yes,
You will
ma'am.
be receiving an email from me in a little bit. It will be your alternate amended conditions. You need to sign those and return those back to me, okay? Your
Ma'am.
officer will then send over your referral for the Scram device, and then you'll be able to contact them. It'll have the address, etc. You'll see the document that she's going to be sending over. And it'll have the address on it and everything else and where to go. It's going to be at the same place where you do your drug testing.
Okay.
Okay. And so they may or may not have any bracelets available. If they don't, then just make sure that you get on the list and keep your officer apprised. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Judge, can you take Jeb next? Because he's getting impatient, I can tell.
Yahoo.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right.
Thanks, Bobby. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We're gonna take a 2-minute break so that I can get my paperwork in order, and I'll be right back. And then the batting order is gonna be Mr. Betancourt, Mr. Martinez, Ms. Walker, and Mr. Rivas. So give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Your Honor,
Yep.
please sign the obstruction paperwork for Mr. Joe Garcia. It's ready and I can send that to you.
We still got Mr. Garcia here somewhere.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I just don't have the paperwork yet on any of it. Is that correct?
I sent it to you during the course of this, Your Honor, so you do have it. You've already signed one, but there's obstruction.
Make it 5 minutes. My boss will give
You're muted, Your Honor. You're muted. You're muted.
Good, because I said some words that would not be good on YouTube.
Okay.
Cause 653-132, State of Texas versus Renee Betancourt Jr., represented by Mr. Armando Roman. Mr. Roman, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cause number 667-828, State of Texas versus Joby Garcia, represented by Mr. Ross Brendel. Mr. Brendel, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We have basically 3 Bexar County Veteran Treatment Court Track 1 pretrial diversion pleas and probation agreements. Clause number 65947. Does that have enough numbers in it? I think we're missing a number. Is that possible? Yes, 659479. Our quality control is waning here. All right, so Pat, administratively, with regard to Mr. Martinez's case, on all the documents, the case number needs to be 659479.
I will inform the clerks.
And Representative Mr. Locke. Mr. Locke, are you ready to proceed?
Ready to go, Judge.
Thank you. Cause number 649750, State of Texas versus Jasmine Walker, represented by Mr. Tim Roundtree. Mr. Roundtree, are you ready on Ms. Walker's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And cause 652550 and 652551, State of Texas versus Juan Rivas, also represented by Mr. Roundtree. Are you ready on these cases also?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, the first document I need everyone to identify their signatures on for me is entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference, that purports to have both the defendant's and the attorney's signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Betancourt, in cause 653132, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Roman, as attorney for Mr. Betancourt, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, in cause 667828, is this your signature on this document, sir? And we still got Joe Garcia with us?
Yes, he's
There you
there.
are.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Sorry
thank you,
about
sir. No problem. And Mr. Brendel, as attorney for Mr. Garcia, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Your Honor.
In clause 659479, Mr. Martinez, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Locke, as attorney for Mr. Martinez, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Walker, in clause 649750, is this your signature on this document?
Yes.
And Mr. Roundtree, as attorney for Ms. Walker, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Rivas, in cause 652550 and 652551, I have one document for each case. Is this your signature on each document, sir?
Yes.
And Mr. Roundtree, as attorney for Mr. Rivas, is this your signature on each of these documents, one for each case?
It is, Judge.
Okay. Next document I have is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions, that purports to have your signatures on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Betancourt, in cause 653132, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, in cause 667828, is this your signature on this document?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, in cause 659479, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Roundtree, excuse me, Ms. Walker, in cause 649750, is this your signature on this document?
Yes.
And Mr. Rivas, I have two documents for you, one in cause 652550 and one in cause 652551. Are these your signatures on each of these documents, one for each case?
Yes.
Thank you. By signing these documents, are each of you telling me that you've had enough time to either read these documents or have them read to you in their entirety? If you had any questions about what was on these documents, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorneys. So in signing these documents, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on these documents. Is that correct, Mr. Betancourt?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms. Walker?
Yes, sir.
And is that correct, Mr. Rivas, in both cases?
Yes.
As attorney for Mr. Betancourt, Mr. Roman, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Brendel, the attorney for Mr. Garcia.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes.
Same question for Mr. Locke, as attorney for Mr. Martinez.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Roundtree, as attorney for Ms. Walker.
Yes, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Roundtree, as attorney for Mr. Rivas in both cases.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Betancourt, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Garcia.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Martinez.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for Ms. Walker.
Yes.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Rivas in both cases.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Roman, as attorney for Mr. Betancourt, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
They have, Your Honor.
Same question for Mr. Brendel, the attorney for Mr. Garcia.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Locke, as attorney for Mr. Martinez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Roundtree, as attorney for Ms. Walker.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Roundtree, as attorney for Mr. Rivas in both cases.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let's see what we're doing with Mr. Betancourt. Okay, State, you got a motion on this case, it would appear.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. The state moves to alter and amend the charging document to add count 2 obstruction of highway.
No objection from the defense, that will be granted.
No objection, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, the state moves to waive and abandon count 1, the DWI count, and proceed on the obstruction of highway count.
Once again, no objection from the defense, that will be granted.
No objection.
Let me do some writing here, thanks. Okay, Mr. Betancourt, and cause 653-132 to the charge of obstruction of a highway. How do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is there an agreement for Mr. Betancourt?
There is, Your Honor. 16 months deferred adjudication, an $850 fine, court cost, 60 hours community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CAT SNP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, $120 to DPS, random UAs, and this case is to run concurrent with cause number 2019 CR 1830 that is out of Comal County, Your Honor.
Can we run a case concurrent with a case outside of Bexar County? Is that even legally possible to do? Mr. Locke, you're my expert. Can we do that?
Yes, you can, Judge.
All right.
Yes, you can.
We can do it, then we'll do it. What kind of case is the Comal County case?
It's a possession of marijuana, less than 2 ounces, Your Honor.
Okay, we got you. All right. And Mr. Rahman, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Betancourt, and cause 653-132. The court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of obstruction of a highway. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt. Place you on 16 months deferred adjudication probation. Assess $850 fine plus court cost, 60 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock at 4 blows a day for 8 months, which is 1/2 the term. $120 reimbursement to the Texas Department of Public Safety for lab fees, regular urinalysis tests. This case to run concurrent with Comal County case number 2019 CR 1830. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Betancourt?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Betancourt, if I send you out for a UA right now, you're going to be positive for marijuana?
No, sir.
All right, good answer. They're going to be testing you regularly, so just keep that in mind. Thanks for your help. Good luck, Mr. Betancourt. Thank you, Mr. Rahman. Y'all are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see what we're doing on Mr. Garcia. And state, you got a motion in this case, it would appear.
Yes, Your Honor. This information contains count 2 obstruction of highway. And so the state moves to waive and abandon count 1 and proceed on count 2.
No objection from the defense. That will be granted. Therefore.
No objection.
Mr. Garcia, in cause number 667-828 to the charge of obstruction of a highway. How do you plead, sir?
No content.
And is there an agreement for Mr. Garcia?
There is, Your Honor. $850 fine, court cost, 16 months deferred adjudication, 48 hours community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, cat snip, and Smart Start Mobile for half the term.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, on cause 667-828, the court accepts your plea of no contest to defense of obstruction of a highway. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt, place you on 16 months deferred adjudication probation. It says an $850 fine plus court cost, 48 hours of community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, and Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock at 4 blows a day for 8 months, which is 1/2 the term. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Garcia?
Nothing from
No,
the
sir.
state, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia, thank you, Mr. Rendell. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Okay, VTC stuff. This is cause number 659-479, State of Texas versus Alex Martinez. This is a Bexar County Veteran Treatment Court Track 1 pretrial diversion plea and probation agreement. Mr. Martinez, in cause 659-479 to the charge of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15. How do you plead, sir?
Not, no contest.
State, your paperwork says guilty. I don't care. I don't know if the state cares whether it's no contest or guilty. State, do you have a problem with no contest?
Judge, the agreement was guilty. That was the offer.
You can plead guilty, Alex. There won't be any legal consequence from that.
I'll change that to guilty then.
Thank you. Court accepts a plea of guilty to the offense of driving while intoxicated with blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15. I hold that in abeyance, place you on 1 year Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court, Track 1, pretrial diversion, assessing a $1,000 all-inclusive Veterans Treatment Court fee, 48 hours community service, probating all that based on your military service, DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, 6 months Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock at 4 blows a day, outpatient drug treatment with either the Veterans Administration or a designated VTC provider. And is there any restitution in this case? Hopefully not.
No, Judge.
Perfect. And requiring successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court, issue judge's bond, defendant to be supervised by CSCD and VTC staff. At this time, Mr. Martinez, I'm looking at a document entitled Track 1 Pretrial Intervention, which is a contract by and between you and your attorney in the Bexar County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Said contract setting out all the requirements and prerequisites for your successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. In fact, sir, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Locke, as attorney for Mr. Martinez, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Galloway, as the Assistant Criminal District Attorney handling this case, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, got everybody on contract. Now we're getting somewhere. And that's basically all I got.
Judge, I had one thing I was hoping to address with Mr. Martinez.
Go ahead.
He's had the Smart Start Mobile and has been blowing in it 4 times a day. We wanted to talk to you about the times. He may be able to explain a little more, but he's having a very difficult time meeting one of the windows with his work. And I didn't know if there was some flexibility on the times that the 4 times he could blow in it.
Let Mr. Martinez tell me a sad story and we'll go from there. What's up, Mr. Martinez?
Your Honor, I am a bartender. I work at night. So the 5 a.m. one is causing conflicts. I work at night, I get home, and I'm having to stay up until 5 a.m. and then sleep from 5 to 11, where the next blow window is. And then I have classes in the afternoon as a full-time student. I'm trying to see if we can move that 5 a.m. window to 4 a little bit earlier in the morning, closer to when I get home from work.
What did you do in the military, sir?
I was aviation mechanic.
Okay. And were you Air Force or?
Navy.
Navy, okay. Here's my problem. Everybody would like to do that, change their hours around. And if we do that, we violate what basically is set in place as blowing every 6 hours. You get a 2-hour window to blow in the machine. And I just, and I'm sorry it's that way, but me waiving that in some capacity leaves you with too much time. So it's not a you personally thing, it's a systemic thing. So for right now, leave him where he is and see where it's going. Is it 5 o'clock in the morning blow? Is that correct?
Between 5 and 8, I believe.
5 and 8? Should be between 5 and 7 probably. You're just going to have to set your alarm clock and get up and suck it up. You were in the Navy. I can't hit you any harder than you've already hit yourself. So this one should be easy compared to many in the Navy. So
Roger that. Thank you,
I would
sir.
say drive on. Any other requests, Mr. Locke?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. You got any questions, Mr. Martinez?
Pertaining to one of the requirements of the contract, that states that I'm not allowed to enter an establishment whose sole purpose or main purpose is to sell alcohol. My job being a bartender, does that mean I have to quit my job?
No. What bar are you working in?
It's the Hangar Bar and Grill on Broadway in San Antonio.
I'll take judicial notice of the Hangar Bar and Grill on Broadway. That being said, I'm not going to have a problem with that. We'll make an exception for you to continue your job there. Obviously, understanding you cannot drink alcohol either there or anywhere else. And,
Yes, sir.
and I'm telling you in advance, anytime I let somebody do this and they're a bartender, they always come back saying, well, people spill beer on me and that's what set the machine off. And I'm not buying that. So I'm telling you in advance, that's what's going on. If in fact there's a problem like that, make sure you call your probation officer and tell them your side of the story. So at least we have that on the record that there was some kind of problem. But normally it's going to have to go down your throat before it really makes any difference. Okay. If it was a scram bracelet, that might make a difference, but you're not on a scram bracelet. You're on a Smart Start Mobile. So all good. You're allowed to be there. And I'm sure part of your attorney's fees was to give Mr. Locke a deal every time he comes into the Hangar Bar. So good luck on all that.
Yes, sir.
You're going to lose money on that one, probably. All right. Anything further from the state of the defense of Mr. Martinez?
Judge Christian,
Your Honor.
I got a note from Chris that he has completed his victim impact panel and DWI education. If you want to go ahead and give him proactive credit, sir.
Great. Anything he's done proactively, he gets full credit for. No problem. Just provide your graduation certificates or whatever to Chris, and we'll be happy to give you credit for those. No problem at all. All right. Anything further from the state of the defense of Mr. Martinez?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Martinez. Thank you for your service, sir. And Mr. Locke, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great afternoon.
Okay. Hang on. Let me get my proactive credit down here. Got it. Okay, Mr. Roundtree, we've got Miss Walker. And let's see what we're doing on Miss Walker. Miss Walker, and cause 649750 to the charge of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content of 0.15 or greater. How do you plead, ma'am?
Guilty.
And my paperwork says no contest. It doesn't matter to me once again. Stated it's supposed to be guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll change the paperwork so that it reflects a plea of guilty to the offense of DWI greater than 0.15. And I accept your plea of guilty. I hold it in abeyance. Place you on 1 year, Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. Track 1, pretrial diversion, assessing a $1,000 all-inclusive Veterans Treatment Court fee, 48 hours of community service, probating all that based on your military service. DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, 6 months Smart Start Mobile, home interlock at 4 blows a day, outpatient drug treatment with either the Veterans Administration or another designated VTC provider. And any restitution on this one? Hopefully not. Nope. We're good.
No, Your Honor.
Requiring successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court issue judge's bond, defendant to be supervised by CSCD and VTC staff. And at this time, Ms. Walker, I'm looking at a document entitled Track 1 Pretrial Intervention, which is a contract signed between you and your attorney in the Bexar County Criminal District Attorney's Office. Said contract setting out all the requirements and prerequisites of your successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. In fact, ma'am, is this your signature on this document also?
Yes.
You and Mr. Roundtree, as attorney for Ms. Walker, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And let's see who's on here. Ms. Galloway is the Assistant Criminal District Attorney representing the state on this case. Is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
All good. What did I miss, State?
Judge, this is Josh Childers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't jump in quick enough. I just reviewed her record. She is active duty. So that is why the no contest was requested.
Okay, Megan, with your permission, I want to change it from guilty to no contest. When they're on active duty,
That's fine, Your Honor.
okay. And on the record, the court's going to take a plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15 or higher, and we'll hold that in abeyance and place her on 1 year Bear County Veteran Treatment Court, track 1, pretrial diversion probation.
Your Honor, I believe there's an active warrant.
And we're going to recall all pretrial matters with regard to that. Was it a drinking violation? What was our problem on that one? Do we know?
It was a dirty blow, Judge.
We're not going to have any more, right?
I will not do that again, Judge.
We're going to recall all adverse things I did on pretrial services, bond conditions, and recall any warrants for any other bad things. So we're continuing to drive on this. Ms. Walker, what are you doing in the military, ma'am? What's your job in the military? And your microphone. There you go.
I'm a medical technician. I work in a hospital.
Are you? What service are you?
Air Force.
Is the Air Force an actual armed service, or is that just sort of a corporation thing? I can't remember how that works.
Yes, sir.
That was a joke. Thank you for your service, ma'am. Anything further from the State of the Defense on Ms. Walker?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge, other than her family lives in Maryland and she does like to go visit them. Does she just need to clear that with
She needs to clear
VTC?
with one of her probation officers, whoever that's going to be, either Joe or Val, and that won't be a problem. If we have no more violations, if we're having violations, that will be a problem.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, Ms. Walker, and thank you for your service, and thank you, Mr. Roundtree, on that one. Now, you need to keep you around for another one here.
Yes, sir.
Now, we're dealing with clause 652550 and 652551. State of Texas versus Juan Rivas. In clause 652550, Mr. Rivas, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense, how do you plead, sir?
You're muted.
Guilty.
Thank you, sir. Court accepts your plea of guilty, hold it in abeyance, places you on 1 year Bear County Veteran Treatment Court, track 1, pretrial diversion, assessing a $1,000 all-inclusive Veteran Treatment Court fee, 48 hours of community service, probating all that based on your military service, DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel, 6 months Smart Start mobile home interlock at 4 blows a day, outpatient drug treatment with the Veterans Administration or another designated VTC provider. Any restitution due on this case, state?
No, Your Honor.
Great. No restitution. Requiring successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court, issue judge's bond, defendant to be supervised by CSCD and VTC staff. And at this time, Mr. Rivas, I'm going to go over a document entitled Track 1 Pretrial Intervention. And you have this exact same document on both cases, 652550 and 652551. So I'm just going to hopefully go over this once with you, but it applies to both cases. Is that okay with you, Mr. Roundtree?
It is, Judge.
Okay. In both these cases, the documents are entitled Track 1 Pretrial Intervention, which are contracts by and between you and your attorney and the Bear County Criminal District Attorney's Office, said contracts setting out all the requirements and prerequisites of your successful completion of the Veterans Treatment Court. In fact, Mr. Rivas, is this your signature on each document? One in case 652550 and one in case 652551.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Roundtree, as attorney for Mr. Rivas, is this also your signature on each document, one for each case?
It is, Judge.
And Ms. Galloway, as the Assistant Criminal District Attorney representing the state on these cases, I assume this is yours. No, I've got Mr. Villarreal's signature on this one. Mr. Villarreal, is this your signature on both these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thanks. Okay, and the other one's what? The firearm one is on the second case?
Correct, Judge.
Okay, so what else do we need to do on 652550? We covered it all pretty much, did we not? It runs concurrent with 652551, by the way.
Yes, Your Honor. Did you include the condition of the forfeiture of the weapons?
We'll do that in the next case. The next case actually has a weapon in it, right? This is just a DWI?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
We'll take that up.
That's only difference.
I understand. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Rivas and 652550?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Rivas, in clause 652551 to the charge of unlawfully carrying a weapon, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
Court accepts your plea of guilty, hold it in abeyance, places you on 1 year, Bear County Veterans Treatment Court, Track 1, pretrial intervention, assessing $1,000 Veterans Treatment Court fee, which will run concurrent with the other case, meaning you only have to pay the $1,000 once for both cases. 48 hours community service, probating all that based on your military service. And let's see what other requirements the state had on this one. We're basically going to require all the same DWI requirements on this case that we have on the other case, just to make them the same. This also is going to need a no, I guess nothing else. There's no other modification, is there, state, other than the weapon we need to talk about?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. And so what kind of, I assume it's a handgun. What kind of gun is this, Mr. Roundtree?
I think it was a Glock. Juan, what kind was it?
It's a 6 Saber.
6 hour 365.
Okay. Go ahead, state.
Yes, Your Honor, the state makes a motion for the weapon to be forfeited to the DA's office for use of our peace officers.
Okay. Mr. Roundtree, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that was part of the agreement, Judge.
All right, all good. Let's see if I get this straight. Okay, Mr. Rivas, the call 652-551. The court accepts your plea of guilty to the offense of unlawfully carrying a weapon, to wit, a handgun. I accept your plea of guilty. I hold it in abeyance. I place you on 1 year Bear County Veterans Treatment Court, Track 1, pretrial diversion, assessing $1,000 all-inclusive Veterans Treatment Court fee, and all the other requirements from the other DWI case. And state, your information says 60 hours community service, which I don't have a problem with because we're probating it anyway, but is that what you tended to do? We normally do 48.
Yes, Your Honor, it was for both cases.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And over the weapon to the Bear County, I'm just gonna say the DA investigator section. Is that okay with you, Ms. Galloway?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And requiring successful completion of the VTC. This case also will run concurrent with 652-550. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Rivas and 652-551?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just want to clarify, I know this is probably Mr. Rivas understands, but the requirements that are duplicated in both cases, you only do them once.
That's
you don't
correct.
have to do them twice.
You only pay the $1,000 once. You only go to each course once. They're running concurrent with each other. So whatever you do counts on both cases. Whatever money you pay counts on both cases. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Hey, Mr. Rivas, what'd you do in the military, sir?
Aviation mechanic for Hughes and Cobras.
Ooh. Did you know that I have 3 hours in a AH-1 ECAS Cobra from the 82nd Airborne in 1982?
Wow.
Had to get the whole CAS squadron drunk. It cost a fortune, but it was worth every penny. All right. Thanks for your service, sir. Thank you, Mr. Roundtree. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
Josh, you got anything further on this case? We okay?
Good, sir. Mr. Moore will be in contact, Mr. Rivas.
All good.
Judge, I do have an off-docket matter. I texted you.
What you got?